Money and spirituality. Is it right to charge for spiritual and healing services? Hey there, I'm Dr. Jane, and I'm joined by the beautiful Devi Jade. Hey, Jade.
Hi, everyone. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I thought we were talking to people. I don't need to talk
We
to
are. Okay.
you. Just kidding.
Well, we are talking to people. So, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us on this Woo Woo Wednesday. We are talking about kind of a taboo topic, Jade. So many people get a little weirded out, even more weirded out when talking about money than they do with talking about spirituality. So we just decided, let's make everybody super uncomfortable and talk about both of them.
Yeah. You know how much I love to talk about uncomfortable things. So
yeah. So I've recently heard some feedback online with, just seeing some interaction with different people saying, oh, well, if this person's spiritual, then they shouldn't be charging for their services. And, it always makes me think, it's an interesting viewpoint. I'm trying not to judge the people, say good, bad with the comments, but to me, it's a really interesting viewpoint that someone should have a level of expertise, whatever it is, and then be expected to not benefit from it in some way, because whether you're spiritual or not, the laws of the universe with exchange of energy, money for goods still exist. So what do you think?
Well, I'm going to do my best not to think, first of all. That's one of the keys, because thinking then will come from here, and it'll be an opinion. I will say this, as far as healers, I've forever as a healer struggled with that, because truly healers are called to do that, and then the money comes, so I have a couple of takes on that. When I was first starting professionally, I had to go to my deities and I said, I don't think Jesus charged. I don't believe His Holiness charged. I don't, I was going through all these different kinds of these deities, high ascended masters and teachers and people that are on the earth that are doing it. And it's been a long journey. And I will say that there's times where it still comes up for me. As far as this goes, we give a lot away. So I have to eat. So I'm like, now, how do I do that? Because if I'm going to be, at one point, I could do a job, whatever I was called to do at that time. And I don't mean corporate, just something, And then over here, I was doing that. It looks very convoluted. It looks like you're not giving everything of what you're called to. So at some point, I was called to do it full time. And then I went, oh, we're going to do this. So I asked. I have a lot of modalities, and I was told specifically for what I do, what I'm called as a Native American pipe carrier, is never, ever okay to charge for a pipe ceremony and a NEPI ceremony, any kind of holy ceremonies where there's a deep, deep transformational cleansing work. And also that ceremony brings everything in. So that's a no-no. It's, if people want to do some type of an exchange of energy, that's for them. And other than that, no, I don't charge for weddings. That's a gift. There's some kind of an exchange there. Typically, people will fly me in to where I'm going, set me up. And then if they want to give me a love donation, which inevitably occurs quite often, then that's a bonus for me. But needless to say, that's a good exchange of energy because I've been teaching them a long time. So anything like that, blessings and clearings. Now, let's say it's a clearing of a home or a piece of land or something like that. Now, that's not a gray area. What I've been instructed on that is it's a lot of energy. So I have to always pray and ask, and the number that comes up and comes to me is exactly what those people actually can do. It's exacting all the time.
So are you saying that that's like, is that an area where your spiritual, the spiritual gift that you're bringing crosses the line into a service? And that's kind of the delineation?
That's the only thing when I'm doing clearings, because I am including a ceremony of some point, but it's it's clearing the house, it's clearing the land, it's clearing obbly gobblies, bye-bye, negotiating. And I must go to my guides and angels and everyone and ask and pray very, very quietly and ask what is the exchange. And since we're not exchanging eggs and chickens and lambs, you know, it's much like the old temples where they would bring a good clear offering. Then that's the way that particular thing works. So there's 3 modalities that they told me that I could charge for. And one of them was doing the tarot. Everything I do is channeled, but they said I could do that because it's kind of like your practical stuff, NLP, practical, the Reiki healings. Now, here's where I'm going to come to that. So this story leads me into over the time of the intense COVID, I was in my element. I think I mentioned this before in our last, it was so refreshing for me because I could do it for free. And there wasn't an agenda attached, because here's the thing, you guys, the agenda isn't always about me. It's about the clients that come in. They'll say, oh, Jade, I'll say, look, if you can't do this, you want healing. I don't care. Just come, we'll arrange something, or just come as a gift. I really don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And they care. They feel they're taking my time. They're taking food out of my mouth. They're doing whatever. So they're not getting what they need. And with COVID, it was like, yahoo! I could just sit there and people will come. I built it. They came. And this was wonderful. Literally, money just came from other places, not the people.
That's really the flow of abundance that we talk about when we're talking about manifestation. So it's not like you're putting a price tag on it. I'll cure your COVID for $19.99 plus tax. You know,
I was like,
I'm giving it to you, and then it literally paid you back in ways that you didn't plan or demand or force. So it's more of using your power and than being an acceptance than it is forced. But there is a line here though, Jade, because if you're going to teach someone, something, if you're going to, shepherd someone in learning what you know or developing their abilities, then that's a service.
Yes. Okay. So that it is a service, but it's like, there's an energy of a higher service. So let's go back to, Lord Yeshua, Jesus, that was his calling. That was what he needed to do. But who's to say what he did before that, when he was prepared and financially prepared, whatever he was, he didn't need a lot because it was a different time. Yeah. Now I thought a lot about like some of the yogis, and some of them, they live a very little life. They don't need anything. They're just doing prayers. And then I thought of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, and look at the splendor he lives in. There's a lot of holy people that live in this tremendous splendor.
Hope.
And yeah, they do. There's
multiple residences and,
Yeah. And let's say, the Pope, he's also, and I don't look at that as like, oh, well, that church. No. It's what was created, because the deities above, they sit in that, but see, there's no attachment to it.
Right.
Well, if they were asked, go here, then that's what they did. Look at Lord Buddha. Before he was that, Siddhartha, he was in splendor, and he went and chose to do something different to get the whole thing. The thing about the begging bowl, I'm going to bring that up because it actually ties into this. So people think of the monks, they go out with the begging bowl, oh, pour me, feed me. And I got a teaching on that one time, and they said, no. That bowl is about, I'm empty. May I serve you? And if people want to serve them, they bring them into their home. It's really about, how can I serve? My hands are open. I am just there for you. They're not asking for anything. They're not in the scarcity mindset. It's exactly the opposite of what we were taught to do. So as a healer, that's why I said I was in my element. It's like, I'm here. My bowl is here. I'm offering it. I'm not going to force it on people. So let's go back to something you said. When I do the sacred spirit energy, which I do trainings. Yes, it's a form of Reiki, and at the same time, I've gotten more energies. So I'm actually asked, first time I've ever announced this, that I was asked to change the name because the energy that came is so high and it goes with the symbols and not. So it's raised up. So they asked me to please change the name. So when I train people into that, yes, they will be paying for those trainings. Why? Because once upon a time with Reiki, when I went, I paid the price. It wasn't like, oh, let me sign on the dotted line. This is going to cost you $297.99 and you are a master. No, I paid like the original prices for this.
Yeah.
And it was a section. And then I needed to be trained under that for so long. Then after mastership was even more. Why? Because you're receiving this energy and the exchange of energy, the way we do things in our world is, are you ready for that? And if you are, the money honestly just shows up. There's certain ceremony that it's just not conducive.
Yeah. I think my issue, what feels off target to me is when people, the judgmental statements of, oh, this person can't be holy or else they wouldn't be asking for money. And that's just not true. You know, with your Reiki training, you put the work in to do the training, but you funded your schooling as well, as did I fund my schooling for my degrees and certifications. I did Reiki training. I'm not a Reiki master, but I paid for that as well. So I'm just not understanding, why do so many people think that it should just come for free in the world that exists with this? Money's just an energy.
It is.
But the world, we have the template of, you get this when you exchange energy for it. And it might not be goats or beets or what, you know, whatever anymore. It might be money. But why are people so offended with the idea of exchanging energy, the energy of money, for anything having to do with spirituality? Why does it make people so irritated?
I really feel, because again, I can tell you, I've been thinking this out probably since I was a kid. I'm not even kidding. I've spent a lot of time on this. And I feel that what's come to me so many times over and over, some of the teachings I shared today, and also it's simply the mindset. Because if you think about a church, they ask for tithes. It's a law. It's an actual law. If you pay that ahead, everything else comes to you after. And people don't understand that. They think it's one of the bills that they have to pay, and it's not. So if you want to look at your spiritual training, and it's like, I'm going to gift is the word, gift myself this much, and it's going to go to help this particular person, whether it's a yogi, whether it's me, and it's going to expand it to help them to, grow, then yes, then I feel like it's okay. I think what gets caught up is when there's been certain people in the past that unfortunately it was the first intention, and then as time went on, their humanity simply got in the way. So you really got to stay very, very humble. I do what I can to stay very humble, and even at that, people may not feel like I'm that humble. I mean, again, we all know I'm a little bit of a diva, but do I spend
But you're a humble diva.
Yeah, well, that's true. So does that mean though that if you paid me for Reiki, I'm running to the newest store to get the next shoes, or what are the best makeup, or maybe some Botox? No, I just
let's be real, Jade. You love your shoes.
I do love my shoes. On my list, I've got Jimmy Choo. Really, I've got to have those red things that say it. No, but anyway, I do what I can to allocate those gifts that people give me to the right practices. And in the meantime, I am doing other little things, because always I'm thinking, when I first came to the trainings that we did, and I'm talking about our little trainings, and it's not a sales pitch, I'm just talking about what we did. My thing was, I want certain streams of income so that I can just do this. And that's coming along, and I don't have to look at that because I just want to be doing this 24/7. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the caveat on that. So when people say, I need to have you more, and I end up spending X amount of time with them, but they don't have the money, there's two things that happen. Once they're very grateful and we'll arrange something and I'll do it according to their needs and what they can do. But I'll have to tell you, on the sadder side, and the sadder note of that is, I've done that with people, and then they turn around and they go pay for another training and they spend $15,000 on it when they just got done telling me for a year they had no money.
Yeah.
And that's the hang up, and what I get to look at different times and say, how did I create that one? And you know what that is? It's something that I've grown to where it's not the abundance flow. It's like, oh, Jade, you have to be the one that's sacrificing yourself. On the, and it's like, no, it's like, pull that out.
No, you got to get rid of that, because
the flow. And when you understand,
you're abundant with others, they should be with you.
Yeah, when you do understand the true flow, then it really is. I truly do believe this. I know a lot of people don't believe this. They say, oh yeah. If you build it, meaning inside of you, that the abundance, the receiving, it's intrinsic in you. Your paradigms are out, money starts flowing.
Field of Dreams. It's the spiritual field of dreams.
It is. It is. I love that movie because it really is. People want to go in the corn. That's part of the movie. You guys I haven't memorized. So that guy earned the right to go in the corn. And the guy, Kevin Costner was like, I want to go in the corn. Well, when you have that, you don't get to go. Is it true?
Right. It's intention.
Yes.
So kind of bottom line is there are certain things that you are led to gift, and then there are certain things that you are freed to put a price on, because we do live in the reality of this human condition where money is an energy, and sometimes we need it to, I don't know, have the lights on, buy the computer that we're watching, that we're using to watch YouTube or listen to the podcast, or,
I'll tell you, I have a la carte menu now, and even meditations, I'll say something, a healing session with a meditation. There's a price there. Now, let's say somebody comes and they say, I really want to do this. Blah, blah, blah. I do what I can to accommodate. Again, I'm saying a repeater, but I just want to really emphasize this, that I do what I can and what I'm impressed to do to assist that person.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I'm here to serve you. That is the intrinsic vows that I kept and I'm doing. There are there's amazing healers out there, and they still ask for a donation, because what they say is, in order for us to bring this to you, this is what we need to serve you.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean that person, again, is running to the store. Some people did. And what happens to people like that?
Yeah.
They get kicked to the curb, because I'm going to tell you, people that are on a very intense spiritual journey to teach others and help them along, they keep it up, and then all of a sudden one day they go, like the cartoon, and they get kicked to the curb, because it's not valuable to anyone.
Yeah.
So it does happen. Yeah.
Well, still a murky issue, but hopefully we cleared it up, at least for some folks who may wonder, where's the line here. So
do you feel more clear on it? That's a good, do you?
Yeah. I mean, it's still squishy. It's still a blurred line, but I think that's kind of.
Well, let's do it this way. I gave everyone some things to think about.
Yeah.
Please think, to feel, and if you feel like it's too much, I will say this, and on the bottom side of this is, please do not get a deck of cards and run over to the nearest platform and think that you are going to make $1 million because you can look at a card and say, oh, this is what it means. You're holding a person's space. You're holding them like a child. And you'll hear that on our comments here and there, because it's probably the most important teaching I can give anybody. And please do your healing work for yourself. It takes years. And then never aspire to what I'm doing. It literally will come to you if it's the way that you're meant to go.
Absolutely.
You know, Dr. Jane is a healer. She just does it in a very different way. So what? She can charge more than me? I'm going to say this. She can. Why? Because she's choosing to. I just choose to do it my way. And my way is the way that I was told and inspired. Her way was the way she was told and inspired. You know, so that's, I can say that. Does that help clarify a little bit more?
Yeah.
Mr. Jane?
Just a discussion.
Oh, I have to ask you something. What is up with this Mimsy thing? She put this on our call the other day. I said, what the heck is Mimsy?
So there's several Janes in our group. And so everybody was tired of saying two names. So we just gave each other nicknames, and my last name is Mim. So everybody started calling me Mimsy.
Okay, because let me just tell you, I mean, she's been on this little journey herself, and I didn't get to speak to her for a little bit. So, you know, these are all kind of pre-recorded sometimes. Sometimes they're boom, right on, but sometimes they're recorded. So I'm like, what? Mimsy? What are we? Mimsy? And what was the other one's name? What was her name?
Fang.
Yeah, Fang. I'm like, are we all cartoons now? I mean,
that's her last name.
I know it was, I'm thinking it was like, well,
so there were 3 Janes. So the Jane with the most difficult last name is just Jane, and the other ones we like got derivations of our last name.
Well, so cute, but I just wondered where they came from. I had to tell you guys.
That's where they came from.
If you want to talk to her now, she's Dr. Mimsy. I just No. I thought it was really cute, but I'm like, where did it go from? So
that's where it came from. Group confusion, tired of 3 Janes. So there we have it. Now there's only one. All right. Well, that's all the time that we have today. Thank you so much, Jade. And thank all of you for watching. And if you have questions about this, I know that it's, you know, it is one of those gray areas, comments, whatever, just put them down there. We will answer them. And we're just so happy that you're here. Hope that you're having a beautiful day, and want you to thumbs up this video just to tell us if you liked it. If this is a good topic for you, that's all that little thumbs up does. You're just giving us a little pat on the back. Say, keep it up, ladies. And then make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because you'll get to know when we're dropping the next video for Woo Woo Wednesday, and other videos to help you live a life with more happiness, lower stress, and more success. Till next time.